Okay, so going to share my screen. That is from my end. Okay. So that is the first time we have a project. Yeah, it's a project. What is project here? We call it a complex stove. The background is about a stove. Of course, every family has a stove. For instance, here we have like 4 heating plates or 4 ovens. And the plates can have a different size, of course, yeah, for the big pots or smaller pots, for instance. And each of the plates have 4 status according to their heating power. Yeah, so it can be O stand for off. So it's off, low, medium, and high. So LMH stand for the different power of the heating, yeah, low, medium, and high. And accordingly, normally you have like 4 bottoms. And with these buttons, each button controls 1 oven or control each plates. Yeah, press you can press the button to control the status of the plates. But this one is a special one. Yeah, it's a complex one, meaning that the button controls not only 1 plate, but sometimes the 2 plates, or in this case, you see it controls all the plates. So it makes so complicated if we wanted to only control 1 plate. I don't want to change the status of the other plates. I only want to control 1 plate. So that comes the questions. So first of all, about status, as I said, each plate has off, low, medium, and high. So 4 status. And now we have 2 different tasks. One task is that, okay, if we start with position L or status L, and if I press the button 6 times, as plus or as minus, I think it's plus. Yeah, press the plus 6 times. And what will the position of these plates at the end? So that's easy task. Second task is saying, oh, we do see some periodicity here. So if you say, okay, I press the plus button for n times, and what will be the final status? And that's a periodical effect. Will say, oh, in every 4 pressure, it will go back to the same place. So you have to explain why. If you press the plus buttons n times, and it's equivalent to 4 times m mod 4 times. So that's the second task. So for this specific complex stove, we want to try to control each plate. Yeah, we wanted to set the desired levels, like from low to high, or from the off to high, or from the low to medium. For instance, we want to control each plate as we will, but unfortunately, the buttons seems control not only 1 plate but also multiple plates. So that's the question here. How can we control, for instance, the plate A using a combination of these buttons? You can show me a solution. Task 4 is saying, oh, not only for the A, for instance, if I want to put place A at any desired levels or any desired status, like O or M or H or L, and how can we make it? The last one is saying, okay, A is possible, use kind of combination of bottom pressure. But what about place B, C, and D? Are they also possible? It should be possible, but you have to show me the solution. Okay, so that's all the 5 tasks. So basically, you're divided into 3 different teams. Each team has some time to present your results. Yeah. So the first team, of course, I just changed the order. So we'll start with Annie and Wenyue, and Annie is not is not here, so she's absent. So when you will present her results, her solution for the task 1 and 2, and second team, Bo and Vivian, you can also share from your ends your slide deck, do a very nice presentation, or I can be your Robert hands. I can show also from my end. Say, okay, next slide, I will change. I will switch to the next slide. And same for Austin, Estelle, and Vivian as the last team. So you should have already a good assignment. Okay, who is going to show the result of which tasks? Yeah. Okay, let's start. Let's start with Wenyue. Are you going to show something? You can also switch to. You can also share from your screen. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing.
Can you please share from your screen? I don't know how to share from my screen.
Okay, so I got only a document. It's a Word document. It's not a presentation, but I can share from my end. No problem. So I'm going to make it larger. What I have received from you is a Word document. Yeah, this
Yes.
one. Okay.
Annie and I agreed on that I would make task 1 and task 2, and she
Okay.
would finish the other 3.
So can you explain it a bit?
Yes. So for the first, wait. So for the first question,
So the first question.
for the first question, they're asking if a plate is in position L, what is the position when the plus button is pressed 6 times? I answered with, wait, I'm sorry, I'm lagging. Wait. I answered with the answer is M because there's a cycle of the plus buttons effects, and those lead the plate back to M after 6 presses, which means that if the plate is in position L,
So if you start with L and press 6 times, are you going to have M?
Yes, you're gonna have M.
Okay. And what about task 2? So you see this is a circle of 4, right?
Yes.
So your explanation is that when pressing at n times and is equal to press in n mod 4 times. Okay, so if you start with L, so 6 mod 4 is actually, you have 2, right? So 6 divided with 4, you have a remainder of 2. So if you press 6 times, that is equivalent to press 2 times, for instance. So if you start L, press 2 times, and which status you will have, which position you should have, the L, M, and the H. Yeah, for me, if you start L, press 6 times, you should have an H instead of M. Can you get it?
Yes.
Okay. So let's stop here because you are only going to explain the first two tests, right?
Yes.
Okay. So let's stop here. And let's switch to the second team or Bo and Vivian. Are you going to share from your side?
No.
Bo and Vivian, and you need my hands or
Yes.
okay. I'm also going to share. Let's wait a little bit of sharing. Going to this is your Bo and Vivian. Okay. Who's going to start?
I'm going to start.
Okay, please.
Um, I'll first explain how the stove system works. The
Yeah.
stove has 4 heat levels: off,
Mhm.
low, medium, and high, and then back to off. Pressing the plus button moves the plate one step forward in the cycle, while the
Yeah.
minus button moves it one step backward.
Yeah.
It's a loop, which means that when the plate is on position H, a plus button means that the plate returns to O.
Mhm.
And when it's on O, a minus button means that the plate goes back to H.
Yeah.
To make it easier to understand and to
Mhm.
analyze, we can label the levels with numbers.
Okay.
Off is 0, low is 1, medium is 2, and high is 3.
Yeah. Okay.
Task 1, if a plate is in position L, what is its position when the plus button is pressed 6 times?
Mhm.
So for task 1, the stove plate starts at low, which we label as number 1. We press the plus button 6 times, which means we add
Mhm.
6 steps. So we calculate 1 plus 6, which equals 7.
Yeah.
And because the system loops every 4 steps, we see what's left after counting full cycles of 4. 7 minus 4 leaves 3, and
Yeah.
the number 3 represents high. So after 6 presses, the final position is high.
Great.
Task 2, can you identify the periodicity of the button pressing sequence? Explain why pressing the plus button n times in a row has an equivalent effect of n mod for times pressing.
Mhm.
So we are asked to find the periodicity of the button pressing sequence. Since they are 4 heat levels, pressing the plus button 4 times always brings the stove back to the starting position,
Yeah.
which means the system has a period of 4. As a result, pressing the plus button n times has the same effect as pressing it n mod 4 times. This explains the repeating pattern of the stove's controls.
Yeah. It's clear.
Okay, so for task 3 is really simple. All you need to do is to find the correct corresponding two parts combination to the lower temperature of the left down corner stove A. And
Mhm.
by doing that, we need to see that you need to change it by 1 and not change any other. If you don't want to change any others, you need to plus and a minus. So
Yes.
with the stove A left down corner, you need to have a plus or a minus and a blank. And
Mhm.
if we look at the only blank at the left down corner, stove A is only button 1. And then we see the rest. There's a plus at stove B and a minus at stove C. So we need to find a plus at stove C and a minus at stove B. we found that is 1 and 2. So if you press 1 and 2 together or 2 and 1 together, you only change the temperature of stove 1,
Yeah.
stove A.
Okay.
And for task B, as we saw in task 3, we found the combination to lower the temperature by 1 at stove A. There's a combination for all of the stove. So if we press, if we want to change the temperature by anyhow, we can press the button the combination multiple times to
Yes.
change how much times we want to change it. So if
Yeah.
we press the two combinations once, it changed the we change the temperature by minusing 1. We press the combination twice, it's minus 2.
Yeah. Correct.
And for task 5, I don't think it's possible to change any of the other stove without changing any other stove's temperature. So I think A is the only option.
Okay. Yeah. So that's your answers. I'm going to explain it later, whether it's correct or not correct. Okay. So very nice presentation by Vivian and Bo. I think presentation is quite clear, and also with a nice preparation of your slide deck. So let's switch to Alston, Astil, and Vivian, and let me switch to your slides. Just give me 1 minute. I'm going to share, and that is yours turn. Okay, so who's going to start?
Me.
Okay, Estelle, please.
Okay. For the tax one, it's really simple because we start with L, and we know that there a circle that if we add 4, it returns to the same place. So 6 minus 4 equals 2. So we add L2 level and it's equal to H.
Yeah, okay.
For the task 2, it's simple too because we know that there is 4 level and there is circle, it's never stop. So if we add 4 or minus 4, it's always return to the same place.
Yes, okay. So task 3, who's going to explain?
我来，我可以用中文吗？
可以。
哦，好。第3题，他问的是不是可能在不把 B、C 和 D 的温度改变的情况下，把 A 的温度改了？是
对。
有可能的。先要摁左边这个图片那个按钮，A 的温度会减少1度，B 的也会减少1度，C 的会增加1度，D 的温度不会变。然后再摁右边这个图片上的A 的温度还是和刚才一样减少，然后没有变，所以 A 温度就减少了1度。
对。
B 的温度先减了1度，再加了1度，所以回到了最开始的位置。C 的温度也是减了1度，再加了1度，又回到了最开始的位置。D 的温度呢，就从来没有变过。
OK， 对的。
然后在刚才的题里面，找到了一个方法，可以让 A 的温度在不把 B、C 和 D 的温度改变的情况下改了。现在只需要知道要怎么把温度升高。升高的话，要是你想要把温度升高1度，你就摁3次把温度减少的按钮，因为它们的结果会是一样。想要把温度加2度的话，你就把温度减2度，因为它的结果也会是一样。想要把温度加3度，你就把那个级别减一级，因为它的结果也会一样。
OK， 非常清楚。好，第5题是不是应该是 Austin？
task 5, if you want to change like the specific temperature of each plate, so you can do, if you want to change plate C, you'll press the so for C is -1, and you press the top right temperature and bottom one. It means -1, and for C, and if you press the third one, so it's for C is -1 again, so it's -3, and for others, for B, because it's +1 and -1, and in the middle doesn't change, so for B doesn't change, and for D is doesn't change, +1 and -1, so it doesn't change overall, and for A is doesn't change -1 +1, so overall it doesn't change. For plate B, you press the top left and bottom twice, so it's +2, and you press the second one, I mean the top right one once, means doesn't change for B, and the down right one for press once, so for B doesn't -1. Overall for B is +1, and for wait.
But there seems that there's some switching here, or maybe B and C is switched, because here you see the B is +1 2 times, no change, and the -1, so B won't be changed, right? So combination of here.
Yeah.
So maybe you mess up with the letters. I don't know, but basically it's good that you find this all possible. It's all possible to control each plate. Yeah. And, okay. And are you going to explain here as well the D?
Yeah.
Because I see a multiple operations on different bottoms.
For D, you press the top left button twice. So D is A, B, C, D. D is +2. No, D is doesn't change, but but B and B +2 and C -2. And you press the top right button twice. For D is -2. For C is -2, and for A is +2.
I think here also some mistakes made. Maybe with a different labeling. Maybe it's here normally the A, B, C, and D. The A is the left bottom. So actually, you see, for instance, if I look at the top left is +2 and 0, and the -3 is also -1, and the -4 times 3 times. So basically, these places won't change. That's correct. And for the right bottom, no change, -2, no change, and +3, so it's +1. So it's indeed 1+. So I didn't have time to deep dive into the calculations, but I will say you're in the right direction. So basically all the three plates can also be controlled by a combination of the bottoms. Okay, great. That's already good enough. So thanks a lot for all your presentations. And I will say it's very, very good exercise. And I do see also let's say the team working. So especially for the last two teams, you have a nice division of the task. I think you also have a nice discussion offline or online, and it's really impressive. So let me continue some explanations or some other explanations. So the first task is quite easy. I think all of you have a nice explanation. So basically you can press 6 times. So starting from L and end with H. So basically the 6 times is equivalent to pressing 2 times, right? So if you start L and L, M, H. So M, H. So when you pay attention, it's not M, because you have to see, you have the 6 times of the change, not the 6 times of the letters. Yeah, because L is 1 letter, but without any pressure, it's L. Yeah, so you pay the 6 arrows. So that's 2 arrows from A to H instead of to M. Okay. Second task is quite easy because you do see already the periodical circles or the circles of 4 pression, right? So you press 4 times and it will go back to the original position or original status. So basically in the chain, in the long chain, like 6 times or 9 times pressure, we can always remove or always cancel the 4 successive pressures or 4 consecutive pressures, because it's always go back to the origin places. So instead of write 6 letters in a sequence, we can say 9 modulus 4 is 1. So we can only need 1 arrow or 1 change of the status from L to O or from L to H. So it's 2. So that's very, very easy to understand. We have 4 status, and of course the periodicity is 4. So meaning that you press 4 times, it will always go back. Yeah, no matter it's a plus or minus. Yeah, you can plus 4 times, or you can press minus 4 times. It's always go back to the original place, right? Okay, so I have some additional question here. So first of all, if the plus and the minus, of course, we're talking about 4 or 6 plus, always plus, or 9 times always minus. But what if we have both plus and minus in a sequence like this? How can we determine the final status? If you have an answer, please type in the chat. For instance, for this sequence, starting with L, what will be the end position? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 13 pressure. After this 13 pressure, what will be the final states? Can you type in the chat? If we got starting from L, we have the plus, both plus and the minus in the sequence. Okay, get already some answers. Let me see. L, M, M. So Estelle says L, and Vivian and Wenyu says M, and also Austin says L. So let me see. You have both L and M's. Yeah, you don't have a unique answer. How to answer these questions? Of course, you can always do like this. We using these arrows. Okay, here we saw the plus or minus, the plus, 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 or plus, plus, minus. But another way around is that we compare each plus and the minus together. Because you have the plus and minus, and then of course it means that you go back to the original place, right? So you can just pair the plus, minus, or minus plus, which order is not important, right? You just pair them wise and to cancel these pairs, because it won't have impact on your status or your possessions. So we just remove each box or each pair of plus and minus here, and it ends up like minus, plus, 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 plus. So we do have 5 plus left. we do have a 5 plus left after the cancellation. And then you see, okay, 5 mod 4 is 1. So all 13 pressure is equivalent to press plus ones, the press plus ones. So starting with the L, it ends up with M. So M is the correct answer. So you see already here, we can have a plus minus, and the order of plus and minus does not matter. So we can always switch these orders. Yeah, if we have the same number of plus in this sequence, or same number of minus in this sequence, and the order of this plus minus does not matter. So that's called, we called commutativity of addition, because for the addition, you can have A plus B is B plus A, right? So that's the same. You can always change the order. So you see, okay, from this sequence, we can just also write like plus is plus 1, or minus is minus 1. And then we can say, oh, because it's the commutativity of the addition, so A plus 1 is B plus A. So A plus B is B plus A. So we can always exchange the orders. And we can translate it plus into plus 1, minus minus 1, and we sum them up. So out of this 13, we get, I don't know, maybe 9 plus, but 4 minus. So this gives you 9 times the plus 1 and 4 times the minus 1. So you get 9 minus 4 gives you 5. So that is indeed the same result we have, like 4 pure plus fraction, right? So the 5 times the plus. So 5 mod 4 is 1, so it's equivalent to plus 1. Yeah. And in addition, you might say, oh, what about a no change simple? Because on the bottom we have the plus, we have the minus, but then we have also a circle without any sign in it. So the circle without any sign means no change, right? No change. And here you can just translate no change as 0, because 0 is no change. No matter it's plus or minus, it's no change as 0. So you can also replace in the sequence, any sequence, a plus with plus 1, minus with minus 1, and a blank circle as 0. Yeah, so for instance, in this sequence, you can just write them up as given 4, and there's no change. Okay, so that's the basic answers, basic knowledge we have. So now for the task 3. So it seems quite interesting. Some of you had found, we can just study on the combination of these signs on the 4 bottoms. And I think both teams, I don't know, when you maybe Annie or you also find this answer, but you didn't presented it. And I think the last 2 teams find a very interesting combination. We can use 2 bottoms and give a single change on the plate A, but for all the B, C, D, all the other 3 plates, they won't be changed. Yeah? They won't be impacted. So we can do the same translation, because we know from the question number 1 or 2, we can translate a blank circle as 0, and a circle with plus sign with plus 1, and a circle with minus sign as minus 1, right? And how to form it into an equation. So its next step is that, okay, when the bottom 1 is pressed, because it's now it's also bottom 1. So when the bottom 2 is pressed, for instance here, the place A will, for instance here, if we have a plus, then it's translated to plus 1. So if it's 0, and then B is 0, the A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D. So A is plus 1, B is 0, C is minus 1, and D is minus 1. So we do the same for all the 4 bottoms. Now we have all the information we have, not only the symbols, but also the numbers. So we translate the symbols into numbers, right? And the next step is that we have a table. We summarize all the translations in the table. So each column is one plate, A, B, C, D, and each row is a press button. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we just summarize the translation. Okay, when I press the button 1 and the plate A won't change, plate B +1, plate C -1, and plate D not changed. And also for all the other 3 push buttons. Okay. Next step is that to say, I wanted to change plate A, but not for B, C, D, right? So that's the task 3. We want to control A only. And we notice that the push button 1 and 3, number 1 and number 3. So if here we have a +1 for B, and accordingly on the bottom 3, we have a -1. And for plate C, the bottom 1 gives you -1, but the bottom 3 gives you a +1. And the plate D, we have both zeros, meaning that's no change. So meaning that if we add the first row with the third row, the first row and the third row is the press button 1 and 3, we have A is -1. So we got status plate A is -1, but the B, C, D will not change because here the sum is 0, sum is 0, sum is 0. So that is the answer for task 3. So basically, we make a combination of bottom 1 and 3. So we call here 1 + 3 is actually here 0 - 1 is -1, +1 - 1 is 0. Here is -1 + 1, 0, 0, 0 is 0. So in all total, we have a combination of 1 and 3, so -1, 0, 0, 0. So that's indeed a good control of only plate A. Yeah. So the task number 4 is quite straightforward, right? So now we know how to lower the temperature for plate A, and we can do this multiple times, as Bo and I think Bo and Vivienne explained. We can do it multiple times, and we know from the task number 1 or task number 2, we can do it as many as we can, and that's always modeled 4, and all the 4 positions can be reached, right? And here we can call it a combi bottom. Yeah. So if we press the bottoms 1 and 3 on same time, we call it combi bottom 1 + 3. Yeah. So by press this bottom, actually press 1 and 3 at same time, and status A will be -1, and other 3 plates will not change. So we can do it multiple times, and we can give you the chance to set plate A at any desired level by pressing this combi bottom several times. So it's quite clear. Now, just before we go to the task number 5, we have still a few questions here. Okay, question 2 to 4. It's a combi bottom. Yeah, we say the combi bottom is a virtual bottom. So 1 and 3. Yeah, as I said, if you press them at the same time, it's a combi bottom. And if a combi bottom is equivalent to level up, it's not a level down, because now we say 1 and 3 is level down. So if a combi bottom is equivalent to level up bottom for plate A, are we able to place A at any desired levels? Yes, of course, yes. Yeah, that's what you learn from the task number 1 and task number 2. So you can do, if I wanted to lower it, I just press 3 times, right? If we get one level up, so just press 1 time. If we want to have two levels up, 2 times. If we have 1 level down, and then we press 3 times, right? Okay, great. Question number 3. If a combi bottom is equivalent to lowering the plate A by 2 levels, are we able to set place A at any desired levels? If it's not only one, but lower the place A by 2 levels, can we do it? And I got 2 answers from Estelle and Vivian and others. Wenyue, Bo, Alston. What do you think? No? Okay. And Bo and Alston? No. Okay. You're right. That's very funny because the total number of states is 4. So unfortunately, if we can only change the status by 2 levels, and then we don't have the chance to explore all the 4 status. Yeah, for instance, if we have the 0, 1, 2, and 3, I really like the translation by Estelle. We can translate the 0, 1, 2, 3. But if we only change the level by 2, meaning that we can only explore either odd numbers or odd even numbers. For instance, we can change from 0 to 2 and 2 to 0, or we can change from 1 to 3 or 3 to 1, but we cannot jump between the odd and the even or even and odd. So you are right, all your answers are correct. So no, we can't set place A at any desired level if the combi bottom is only changed by 2. Now, the third question, if a combi bottom is equivalent to lowering the place A by 3 levels, instead of 1, instead of 2, but 3 levels, are we able to set place A at any desired level? Yeah, I get also the answers here. Yes, yes, yeah. Okay, Bo, what's your answer? Bo? Okay, yeah, it's possible because the lowering A by 3 levels, we know it's from text 2, is equivalent to raise the place A by 1 level or level up. Yeah, because this is always a modulus 4 operation, right? The -3 is equivalent to +1 if the period is 4, right? The -3 is +1. So, okay, all the good answers. Now we start with text number 5. Text number 5. And if we want to change B, and we have also the same table, and the same table, we translated already the signs into numbers, right? And we found that, okay, if I press the button 1, 2, and 4 at the same time, 1, 2, 4 at the same time, what will happen? We do the same, we add them up, like 0 plus 1 minus 1 gives you 0 for A, plus 1, 0, minus 1 gives you 0 for place B, minus 1, minus 1, minus 1 gives you -3, but it's level up for place C. 0 minus 1 plus 1 gives you 0 for place D. So basically, the combi bottom 1, 2, and 4 is equivalent to level up place C without change the status for the other plates. You might be very curious, oh, how you found it? How can you find it? Because it seems also interesting to have kind of combination of the bottoms. Okay, I will leave this question later, okay? Let's see the answer for B as well, because we have now A and C. For B, instead, we have a double pressure. So that's what I think Austin also shows. Sometimes we need a multiple bottom at the same bottom, multiple times on the same bottom. You're right, yeah. So for B, we have like twice of A no, sorry, twice of 1 and 1 times 2 and 1 times 4. So we have combi like 2 times 1 plus 2 plus 4. So because here we have 2 times, so for all the calculations, we have the 2 times 0, 2 times 1, 2 times minus 1 in the calculations. We do the same, we sum them up, and we find, okay, by this combination, the place A will get 0, place B gets plus 1, place C 0, but actually place C you get minus 4, but minus 4 is equivalent to 0, right? Because we are talking about modulus 4. So minus 4 is equivalent to 0, and place D is 0. So this combination will only change B, but level up. It's kind of level up bottom for B, but have no change for the other 3 bottoms. And the same for D. And we have more complicated ones. So we have twice for 1, twice for 2, and also 3 and 4. But it seems a little bit simpler than Alston's answer, because if I remember, Alston have also 3 times, or 4 times, 3 times, or 3 times, or 3 times, 4 times, whatever. So here we do have some multiple time for 1 and 3 and 2, and at the end we're able to like level down for D, but all the zeros for the other plates. So you do think that's amazing. Of course, it's really complex oven, but it's amazing that we are still able to make this happen by some combinations. So next question, how did you find it? How did you find it? Because apparently for plate number A, you do have the chance to find this solution only by observations. I can see, okay, here I find this, or I have this notice. But for the combination, like for place D, it's really hard. It's really hard to find this solution only by observations. We should have a more advanced tools. What tools we have? Now we have some questions instead of showing the answer directly. Okay, for instance, what will have a normal oven? Yeah, like a normal one, not so complex one. The oven we had in every family, yeah, in your kitchen. So the normal one looks like this. Yeah? Each bottom controls only one oven. So this is for A, this is for B, this is for C, this is for D. So basically for this table, we have much simpler table, as the bottom one controls any A, the plus level 1, level up for A, but no impact on the other 3 plates. At the bottom 2 only impact on plate B and not for all the 3 other plates. Same as here. So you see the table is quite simple. We have the plus 1 in the diagonal, but for the other places we have all zeros, meaning that each bottom controls only one plate. Yeah. So that is the oven should be. Yeah, should be. But unfortunately, we have a complex oven. Yeah. Now, if we have another complex oven like this, yeah. So comparing to the normal one, we have also zeros here, but on this triangle, we have a -1. We have the same as +1 in the diagonal, but we have all the -1 in the northern triangle, meaning that the number 4 is the normal bottom. Now we can control the plate D by number 4, but not for the bottom 3, 2, and 1. They are all complex bottoms. Okay. So I know the time is not enough for your thinking, but just guess. Just type your answer in the chat. Do you think it's still able to set every plate at any desired level using these bottoms? Okay, yes, no, both say no. And Austin said probably, yeah. When you said no, and the Vivians, the two Vivians, do you think it's still possible for us to control the oven like we did for Alice? Because Alice gets also a complex oven. And this one is, of course, okay. So some of you think it's not possible. Some say maybe. Some of you said no. Okay, so let's see. If we wanted to control the D, of course, it's very straightforward because the bottom number 4 is the normal bottom to control D only. Now think about C. Think about C. And C, of course, here we can use bottom 3, but unfortunately, bottom 3 also controls D. So if I press number 3, C will be level up, but D will be level down. Do we have any bottom control D? Yes. The bottom 4 can be used to control D, right? So basically, we can use combination of 3 and 4. Think about 3 plus 4. 3 plus 4 here will be 0, and this will be plus 1. And A and B, because they are all zeros. So no worry about A and B, right? So basically we can have a combi bottom 3 and 4, where the C will be leveled up, and D will be 0. Now think about the B as well, place B. We can use bottom 2, but unfortunately we have a -1 for both C and D. And for D, we can also use number 4 to put the 0. Number C, place C, sorry. We just said, okay, the combination of 3 and 4 will give the +1 for number C. So we can also use 2 and 4 both, 3 and 4 both. So basically, what do we have? So from D, we can use a single bottom number 4. It will be level up. Place C, combination of 3 and 4. Combination 3 and 4. So we have a level up for C. Number B, of course, now 2 and 4 and 3 and 4. 2 for place B, 4 to move the D back to 0, and 3 and 4 move the C back to 0. So basically you have 2, 3, and 2 times 4. 2 times 4. And the A is same. We can use A and add the B, add the C, add the D, because you have -1, -1, and -1. So A is that using the 1 and add all above. And you say, if I add all above, I have 1 times 1, yes. 1 times 2, no problem. 1 times 3, but we should have 4 times 4. 4 times 4, but why don't you have any 4? You know, the 4 times 4 is back again to the original place. So you do not need to press 4 times, because you know that's a period of 4. So that's why I don't have a 4 times 4. I just leave it out. Yeah. So yes, the answer is yes. We can still use combis for this place. Okay. Number 7. So how can we find it? Of course, now it's a question. How can we find these numbers, right? So you see it's smart, of course. It starts with number 4 and backward to number 3, backward to number 2, and then on to control the DCBA one by one. But do we have a smart approach to find the solutions? We have a systematic equations. Yeah. So in a very general cases, we just assume, okay, I wanted to we want to control A, for instance, and I can also assume it's level up. So just assume that we can manage it by press bottom A1 A times, bottom 2 B times, bottom 3 C times, and bottom 4 D times. Okay, so we just add them up like we did before. So for place A, it's +1 A times. So A should be 1. The 1 stands for level up, right? Place B, because here's a -1. So -1 A times minus A, and here we have a +1, and B times that's a plus B, and 0, 0 will be 0 because no change for B. C, the A times here, so minus A, minus B, but plus C, because here's a +1, plus C, and it ends up a 0, no change. And place D, minus A, minus B, minus C, plus D is 0. So basically, we can translate this challenge into a systematic equations. If you have a solution of these system equations, then we have a solution for this challenge as well. But for you, it's not so difficult to find solution, right? Because it's all linear equations. You have 4 different variables, A, B, C, D. You have 4 equations. So 4 variables, 4 equations, linear equation will give you a straightforward answer. So that's why we can find, you solve it, A is 1, and B is 1, C is 2, and D is 4, but 4 multiplied 4 is 0. So that's why we get, okay, the answer is the bottom 1 plus 1 time, bottom 2 1 time, bottom 3 2 time, but bottom 4 you can write 4 time, but also no time for bottom 4 because the model is 4. So that's why we get the answer. Yeah, so that's why you get the answer. The same for B. The same for B we can do is, if I have to level up B. So B is 1, A, C, D, or 0. We can have the same A, B, C, D variables and gives you another system of equations. And solve it, we get A is 0, B is 1, C is 1, and D is 2, meaning that, okay, instead A is not here, the bottom 1 is not needed to be pressed, and only the bottom 2, 3, and 2 times 4, and give you a level up of B. So same for C and same for D. So it's very straightforward. You can just assign what you need. You can also set this -1 instead of 1 if we want to level down. Yeah, because we have the 1 is level up for the desired status. We can also level down. So here you have -1. Yeah. Okay, number 8. If we have such a plate, yeah, you see it's different. It's a different bottom settings. Are we able to find the combi bottom for this table? For these, let's say, for these controls? Because it seems that for any settings of stuff, we always find the solution, but is this true or not? Can we have a solution for this table, for instance? You just guess. You can just guess in chat. I get 1, 2 from chat. No. Okay. And who else? Bo, Wenyue, Vivian? No? Okay. Oh. Now you have a unique answer. All of you answered no. All of you answered no. Okay. So you are right. For this combination, for these settings, we can't. Why? Because you see the bottom 1 and 2 is exactly the same. And the bottom 1, 2 is exactly the same. So because it's controlled A by +1, place B by -1, C and D no change. And bottom 3 and 4 are exactly adverse, meaning that in the different way, right? So here is 0, 0, but then C is +1, but for number 4 is -1, for place D is -1 and +1. So it's completely another way around. So that means the push button 1 and 2 is the same. So basically you don't have 4 bottoms, you have only 3 bottoms. Because the 2 and 1 is the same, is equivalent to each other. And the 2 and 4 it seems that at first, meaning that okay, if I press number 3 once, it seems like I press number 4 3 times. Yeah, as they level up is equivalent to level down 3 times, or level down is equivalent to level up 3 times. So basically, you don't have 4 bottoms, you only have 2 bottoms. The 1 or 2, 3 or 2 or 4, whatever. So these combinations basically cannot give you a solution. If we say, okay, I write the same variables here. I list also like equations, a system of equations. So take A as example, as A should be a level up. And I do the same. Okay, the A plus B, 0, 0 is 1. And here, minus A must be 0, 0 is 0. And here's the C plus C minus D is 0. And D minus, minus C plus D is 0. And we can also see here, this is contradictory to each other. Yeah. So on one hand, the A plus B should be 1. And the second equation say the minus A minus B should be 0. How can it happen? So they are contradictory to each other. We cannot find the solution for this. Yeah, because A plus B is 0, then the minus A minus B should be -1. Another way around, if the second equation is met, A plus B should be 0. So the first equation does not meet. Yeah, the same as if we take place C as example, then we have the same result. So basically, they are contradiction to each other. So we don't have a solution for these equations, meaning that for this complex oven, we don't have an answer. Okay, so that's the end of this interesting project. I hope you still get interested, because I know it takes more time for you to prepare the slide deck, prepare presentations. But in general, I will say you did quite good job, and I hope it should be more interesting than the normal lectures. And today is also the end of this semester. So I hope you get also nice examination results in the school and enjoy your holidays. We will continue next semester from beginning of January. Okay, so stop.